Where'd you go? There we are.
Okay, we are going live there. We are live on YouTube. Now we are live on Instagram. Okay, it's official, Tracy. It's really happening.
My very first live. Hello.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight, Tracy. My name's Joey Berger, the Humboldt local. I'm honored to be joined tonight by Tracy from the Lotus Entheogenic Church. Our hostess with the mostest for this incredible weekend we've got planned coming up this Saturday, June 22nd in North Oakland, the first monthly session seed swap of the Regenerative Farming Guild. And the guild was founded by our dear friend Kristen Callahan of Magic Meadow Farms, a local Lake County farmer here. She wanted to put on a regenerative farming conference a couple of years ago and founded this group. And Tamara and I are founding members. We're a big part of putting together that educational lineup. And we've been wanting to use the Regenerative Farming Guild to get more education out there again. We've really been wanting to bring more of this education to the Bay Area. And over the last 6 months, we started coming down to the Lotus Church in Oakland and attending some of your wonderful events. You've got a really beautiful space there in a really safe neighborhood. We've been to events in Oakland before that were kind of in some scary neighborhoods. And the only thing keeping you safe was that you were at the biker clubhouse. So to be in a nice, safe neighborhood in North Oakland where you don't have to worry about your car getting broken into or anything else, it's a real joy, and it makes it a real pleasure to hang in the Bay. So we're super excited to be joining you this weekend, Tracy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Lotus Entheogenic Church, and tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got involved with plant medicine and found your way to founding this awesome church in Oakland.
Well, I've been in the psychedelic space for 30 years. Started when I was a teenager. Took a nice break while I was doing a different career. And, I did some mushrooms with one of my best friends, and we did a little too much. Ended up being a beautiful experience. He dared me basically because I used to grow weed in the 90s in LA. So I did indoor, very small scale, very small batch compared to Humboldt standards for sure, from like 96 to 06. And he was like, you used to grow weed in the 90s. I bet you could grow some mushrooms. And I was like, I bet I could. And so I did some studying and I read books and took classes for a year, and then finally put spore to rye berries and did it. And it was successful, very successful. And so I started making posts and kind of word of mouth in Oakland. And one of my clients was one of the original Black Panthers. And she was like, your medicine is the cleanest medicine I've come across in Oakland. And I find that you need to have a space out here. And so let me take you by the hand and let's go into Oakland and get this medicine out there. So I started going to underground markets, a lot of the clubs that you're familiar with. And it grew from there. So 4 years in the making and building my reputation and working with people. And it got to the point where I started going to national conferences like MAPS and Wonderland Miami and Canadelic, and just traveling all over the US. And, we all know about the church that exists in Oakland, and I just followed his blueprint. Not exactly to the T. We do things a little bit differently here. It's more of a community space. We have more like educational workshops and ceremony. And I don't take on the role as a spiritual healer. I hand that off to people who have lineage in that or have multiple years of experience. And so I hand that off to them. And I'm basically a facilitator in this space, allowing for people of expertise to come through here and share their knowledge. My goal is for people to have autonomy with their own spiritual health, mental health, drug addiction recovery. I come from years in the punk scene. So I've lost a lot of friends to opioid addiction. And especially the last 13 years being in Oakland, a lot of the people that I met here have passed away. And so finding out that psilocybin could possibly and effectively reverse the opioid crisis in this country, at that point, it's like, how do you not do something? How do you not open, an establishment that gives people access to their own journeys and recovery? And so that's what the church is about, is creating that autonomy for people.
Yeah, that's so awesome, Tracy, and so needed. We're seeing so many studies come out now for all the different treatments with these psychedelic remedies, and from PTSD to depression, and the way they're treating veterans now. And I know through my own personal healing through microdosing and dealing with depression and different types of mental issues, these plant medicines have incredible ability to heal. Thank you so much for putting your life energy towards this and making this your cause, because it's a very brave space to be in, and it's a little unsure space to be in. So you've got to be brave, but you're doing the right thing. You're on the right side of history right now. And hats off to Oakland. We've got to talk about Oakland a little bit. Oakland is a place that has always really taken care of its community in a lot of ways. And especially its poorer communities that really need this type of medicine and have always needed things like cannabis previously. During the medical days, Oakland passed what was called Proposition D. I believe it's called Prop D. And they allowed all these Prop D clubs, which are basically private clubs for cannabis users, to open and exist in Oakland at a time when medical was very clouded. Dispensaries in San Fran were being raided by the feds, and Oakland put a lot of protections in place that, hey, these are going to be for our community. They were all community owned. A lot of them were in the poorer neighborhoods where people didn't have access to health care and to the care that they needed. And I know those Prop D clubs helped a lot of people for a lot of years, and I've heard that a lot of those, as things have changed in Oakland, have become mushroom churches or have become plant medicine churches. So it's really awesome to see the way Oakland takes care of its community. Decriminalizing plant medicine is a huge move, and to foster community gathering places like the church. It's great. It's exactly like you said. You see so much opioid abuse, and we're losing so many loved ones, and communities being torn apart because people just don't have access to these resources, these plant medicines, therapies to go with it, community. So much of this is about community. We have really found our communities. We come into the church events, and we gather plant medicine gatherings like this. And so much of that community is what helps our health, mental health, physical health, having those loved ones, those people around us. And tell us about some of the events you've done there at the church. I know you've been doing some awesome stuff. You do some weekly gatherings there. Tell people what they can expect at the church.
I mean, we've had several really successful events, namely the Hill Hill Seed Swap that we started that was monthly. That brought a lot of farmers like yourself down from the hill and into the streets of Oakland, where you guys can share your, plant medicine with the people directly, and doing it in a way that's ethical, legal, and safe, and also has protections for both the vendors and for the members. We do checks on everyone to make sure that no one is a sex offender, everyone's over 21, that you fall within the guidelines of what we consider a safe space. And in doing that, it really alleviates a lot of the anxiety for both vendors and for members when they come, because they know that it's genuinely a safe space and that they can talk freely. They can navigate with other members, knowing that we're all here for the same reason, and that's simply to create community in a positive way. People check their egos at the door. We don't have negative, you know, interaction between each other. Everyone's here to, share their knowledge, share their expertise, and it's been really a beautiful experience. Honestly, it's been beyond what my expectations were. Um, we did a graffiti show with the Lord's Crew, which is one of the oldest graffiti crews in the world. They came and did a live painting at the auxiliary building, and we did an art show. I mean, it was really awesome to have a space for people to share with the world the art that they do, dating back to the 90s. And the crowd was awesome. And that's something that's kind of been really motivating for me, is just the positive energy that people bring into the space. And it creates excitement to want to come back to the future events. We've also had grow classes on how to grow your own medicine. We've had opportunities for spiritual healers. You can meet with them and do ceremony. We have Zen Buddhists that come through, the priest and his members, many of which are a part of the Western medicine. So they are neuroscientists, psychiatrists, psychologists. They were a part of the LSD studies back at UCLA before it became illegal. So there are people that come to the church with a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience, and genuinely just want to share that with everybody. What else have we done? I mean, we had bingo night. We've had Dabs and Doodles, which is a weekly event. It's a free event for both vendors and for members to come through and just hang out and talk about rosin and talk about different, cultivars that they're working with, and talk about different qualities and aspects of rosin. And so that's really cool too. And then it's just an open art night. People can sit and share their black books and just chill. There's no stress, there's no anxiety. Everyone's just having a good time. And we just recently started the Smoke Easy on Sundays, which is where we'll have vendors from various different regenerative farming backgrounds come through and share their plant medicine with people in the community. I also have on the schedule a Korean shaman who will be coming through and hosting ceremony here as well. So it's just really cool, exciting stuff. It's awesome to have an umbrella for so many different communities and so many subsets within the different aspects of plant medicine to congregate and share their knowledge. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, really exciting, Tracy. Yeah, I heard that that Lord's show was really awesome. I saw some of the murals, looked really beautiful. I'm really excited to get down and see the building and see the space on this Saturday for the second seed swap. And I've been hearing that the Dabs and Doodles is a really fun event. I know some of our friends have been coming down and bending on that, Black Cat Genetics, and our buddy Bakur Basha has been coming down for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really fun night. What a great thing for the community. With the artistic juices flowing.
I'm really looking forward to this monthly event because it's larger than the past seed swaps that we've done, and I feel like you've been really integral in bringing more folks out from the mountains. I know that people are kind of reticence towards like giving their ID, and they're like, oh no, I'm off grid, but it's a safety measure for us as well as for them. So it's not anything beyond that. And I just want people to understand that, like, we're not, logging it or keeping it. Like, it's genuinely just so we know that everyone's safe here.
Yeah, any grower or cannabis person that lived through the 215 medical days has to understand that this is a similar situation, and we all need to be under these same types of protections. And by joining the church membership, you are afforded some of those protections. So, yeah, please join the church. Go out and support them. You guys are open every day right now.
Right. We're open every day from 11 to 7 due to the fact that we are small staff. Sometimes we open a little later. So it's always good to text the line to say, hey, like, I'm coming through. Give me at least a 30-minute window heads up so I can make sure someone's here to let you in. We also do events, like Trans Bay Challenge. So sometimes we're closed for the day unexpectedly. So it's always good to check in.
Yeah, we had a blast hanging with you at the Trans Bay Challenge this last weekend up in Mendo at Area 101. It's nice to see some of our Bay Area fam making it up to the hills. And yeah, really sweet time. Yeah, this weekend we've got a really fun one planned. It's long overdue that a bunch of regenerative farmers and hash makers and plant medicine makers come to the Bay Area and kind of set up and make a monthly stand, because I've been to the sessions down there. It's a lot of indoor. It's a lot of BHO still. It's a lot of kind of the bottom of the barrel product. It's just looking for a cheap home, and often disconnected from the farmer. You've got medicine makers who never even meet the farmer, so there's no accountability for how the medicine is grown. There's nobody really taking pride at any step of the way. When you come to these farmers markets, and that's that's essentially what the Session Seed Swap is. You can meet farmers directly, really make these connections, get to know your farmer, ask the important questions, ask them about their practices. I've been really picky with who the vendors are coming to these Regen Session Seed Swaps. Very picky. We do have some indoor farmers here, but they're all incredible living soil. The pinnacle of the industry as far as living soil and indoor biology. So I'm really excited. We've got over 35 vendors. We've got 2 awesome food vendors, including our founding guild member, Kristen Callahan, and her incredible ganja-fed pork that she's going to be bringing in bulk, frozen bulk, as well as serving up some delicious food. I don't know what she's going to be making yet, but she was at the Ridge session with us and served sliders till 2-3 in the morning, and they were a huge hit. That ganja-fed pork from her recreational grow is something else. So yeah, we've got a really fun one coming up this weekend from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock at the Lotus Entheogenic Church in North Oakland. You can go to tinyurl.com/regensesh to purchase your $10 tax-deductible ticket. It's a donation to the church. Otherwise, you can just roll through. You can join the church's membership, and then you'll get the address, and you can roll through and show up 7 days a week. But yeah, give a call ahead, like Tracy was saying. Make sure somebody's there. They're really picky about the medicine that they offer. I've seen this firsthand, and you keep a really high standard there, Tracy, and that's much appreciated, because we've seen in the plant medicine space, in the mushroom space, corners being cut, just like we're seeing in the cannabis space. A lot of products, you have an unregulated market right now. So you have good players and bad players, and it's hard to know who's who. Once again, you really got to know who your farmer is and who your medicine maker is. And some people are testing, but most are not. What's your advice there, Tracy, as far as making sure people are getting clean mushrooms? And are you seeing dirty mushrooms? Are you hearing of failed testing and scary things showing up in plant medicine like that?
The vendors that I work with specifically, I have known for multiple years. That or I see the quality and the standard that they provide to me. If there's any substrate, if it is dirty in any way, it gets rejected 100%. I don't care if it's coco coir. No one's wanting to eat that. I think that people need to be educated on quality as far as mushrooms are concerned. People are handling it like it's weed, and you can't. You're not burning it in a bowl, you're not burning it in a blunt. You're actually ingesting it. So you have to consider it a food product, and it has to be treated as such. So I'm very picky when I look at dried fruits from potential vendors. And at this point, I'm not accepting any new vendors. I will seek you out because I know you based on your reputation. I've been in the space long enough to know who is ethical and who is doing it right. So I don't really accept new vendors, and I do seek vendors out though. Like I will, if I reach out to you, then you hit the standard. It's pretty high. I don't allow people to just bring stuff in off the street, and I don't just take it and put it on the shelves as like a third party. Like absolutely not. It has to be perfect. It has to be pristine. And unfortunately, a lot of that is what's passing through a lot of places and getting people sick. Mushrooms should not make you want to throw up or give you diarrhea. Absolutely not. That's not a part of the mushroom journey. That means you got food poisoning right before you started tripping or having your journey. That shouldn't happen. So if that's happening, you're having dirty product. And yeah, I haven't had anybody come back and complain of that because our standards are so high. And it should be. It's sacred medicine. People are using this for healing purposes. Even if you're using it for recreational purposes, those recreational journeys that you have are healing on a lot of levels as well, whether you are cognizant of it or not. Yeah, I'm very, very strict on quality. So yeah, I mean, I've heard the horror stories. I've had people come and tell me about chocolate bars that had DMT or research chemicals in them. And I had a woman who had a facial twitch that is permanent because of her reaction to a bad chocolate bar. And so as providers for medicine, it's imperative that we hold these standards high because everything's falling on our shoulders as far as responsibility. And we don't have the option to mess up on this.
Yeah, well, thank you for paving the way and holding such a high standard because I'm sure there's a lot of places that aren't. I know people chase the almighty dollar, and you've got to find that balance. And I've seen you holding a really high standard there. I know your products that you got on the shelf, and it's much appreciated. And it's the perfect home for us to bring the Regenerative Farming Guild for these kind of monthly gatherings. So we're super excited to be partnering up with you and look forward to doing many, many more of these. We've got a super stacked lineup. I just want to talk about a little bit. You mentioned we were up at the Area 101, the original home of the Emerald Cup over this last weekend for the Trans Bay Challenge. And we've got Emerald Cup founder Tim Blake coming to give a talk. And Tim is someone who's always been super inspirational to our small farmer community. He started some of the very first cannabis farmers markets up there at that property back around 2013, 14, 15. And they were truly magical with some of the best farmers in that community and just incredible times. Really a big inspiration to me, and a lot of the events and the markets that I got into hosting were completely credited to Tim. So big love to Tim. The Emerald Cup is coming to Oakland August 17th and 18th, which is very exciting this year. And we're stoked to have Tim Blake joining us this Saturday at the Lotus Church to give a talk about some of his history, how he feels about the regenerative farmer, small farming community, which we know he loves. He really put the sun-grown farmers on the map with the Emerald Cup, and we really owe a debt of gratitude to Tim for that alone, especially all of us small farmers up here on the North Coast. We've got another incredible regenerative farmer Nick Mahmood of Green Source Gardens, our dear friend Nick, who has been to some of our events, given incredible talks, super inspirational, incredible breeder, hash maker, grower. And he hasn't been to California in over a year since we did an event here about a year ago. So we're super honored to have Nick joining us. He always throws down. His talks are not to be missed. A super spiritual, somebody who is so connected to his land and to the plant and really makes sense of it all. And not just hippy dippy. This guy knows his breeding. He knows his hash making. We grow a lot of his genetics. He's a big part of the Dem Pure family, and much respect to Nick Mahmood. So we're very excited to have Green Source Gardens joining us. And then we've got our buddy Michael, the trichome tortoise, hands down one of the best hash makers in the world right now, one of the most winning solventless hash makers in the world. Michael joined us at the Ridge Sesh and was one of our judges there, judging flower, and he's going to be coming and giving a talk on hash returns. Michael, like I said, trichome tortoise, one of the best hash makers in the world right now. I recently got to smoke some of his stuff, and I can say it is certainly up there with the handful of the best that I've ever experienced. And we're honored to have Michael joining us to talk about hash returns, some of the tricks of the trade that he does when he's washing, calculating some of that stuff, those returns to rosin. We're going to get some real hash tech from one of the masters. And he is also a living soil indoor wizard. Who is going to give us a talk on that. We'll have to get that next time. But as we know, this good living soil is what leads to that good hash. We're seeing it over and over again as these living soil indoor and outdoor folks win these competitions. So we're honored to have Michael joining us. We have Jesse from Sierra Mountain Growers. Jesse was our first place winner up at the Ridge Session Cured Cup. He's a second generation grower from up in Nevada County, been growing since he was 14 years old, been in his living soil beds for going on a couple of decades. And his flower was incredible. He really deserved that first place win up there a couple of weeks ago. And he's going to come and give a talk about his living soil and how he cultivates that award-winning resin. Yeah, we've got a stacked lineup. This is only about half of our speakers for the day, so I'll burn through a couple more here, and then we'll wrap it up. But we've got our buddy Faultline Seeds, Jonathan of Faultline Seeds, another incredible breeder who's been at the church at a lot of the church events and making a presence there. Jonathan's going to come in and talk about direct sowing seeds. He's an incredible seed breeder. He's been cultivating on a pretty large scale the last couple of years and having very good success direct sowing cannabis seeds. He's going to talk about that. Not to be missed. Who else we got? We've got our buddy Juan of Solventless Sanctuary. Anybody that knows Juan knows he brings the super IRE positive vibes, incredible single source hash maker and cultivator and medicine maker. And Juan's going to talk about hash history, some of the terroir, some of the different ways to consume a real hashishan. So we're honored to have Juan joining us to share with us that one. My partner Tamara, my dear sweet Tamara of Heal Thyself Gardens, is going to be giving a talk on companion planting, something that's very important to our regenerative farming. And especially her, she's a herbalist. She's always trying to go herbs for her product line. So we're always trying to stack as many functions out of every plant or every item, everything that we do on our farm. So when we plant a plant next to our cannabis plant, we want it to be to either deter pests or attract predator bugs. We also want it to be an herb that she can use in multiple products. We also want it to be a food that we can eat. We also want it to be a plant that we can use as a pesticide to spray some of our pests, to make our Jadam herbal solutions. So we're always looking to stack functions. And if we can make sure that these companion plants serve many functions, we can really follow some of those permaculture principles, which is what that stacking functions is. So yeah, that's going to be a really fun talk. We're starting lots of seeds and planting lots of plants on our farm right now, along with our personal use cannabis and our licensed hemp operation. And Lots of herbs and flowers and veggies going in right now. So that'll be a good thing to talk about. That's very relevant for your Bay Area growers. Wherever you're growing a monocrop, it's susceptible to pests. Diversity is strength. So we want to grow a lot of different plants. And, you know, any way we can mimic nature, create that natural environment, we'll create that stronger system that can resist all those pressures. So I know I'm forgetting one or two. We've got Eli from Moon Valley Cannabis was supposed to come, but he just messaged me today and told me he double booked. So we'll get him next month. Another incredible indoor living soil cultivator, one of the best, running a licensed operation, been winning tons of awards. Much love to Eli. Hey, I'm gonna have to let the loud chihuahua in the house or she's gonna freak out. But yeah, so we've got a couple other things I want to mention. We've got an awesome sponsor, Hendricks Nursery out of Humboldt. They are sponsoring. They're bringing free clones to give away. So make sure you show up nice and early, right at 2:00, if you want to get some awesome clones from an awesome licensed nursery in Humboldt. Some very clean clones. And come by and get some of those free clones. We're also going to have our buddy Frank and Oscar from They Sieve will be there running the free dab bar. Come on out and get some dabs. Those guys really do a good job seeking out regenerative farmers to wash their material. And you can get some really clean medicine from those boys. So who else are we going to have?
Do an awesome job. They're always here. They're here on Fridays and Sundays without fail. And just really good vibes. Always great quality product. I can't speak any more highly of these guys. I mean, they really bring it every single time. It's been really awesome to have them as part of the church for sure.
Seriously, yeah, they bring out beautiful glass. They bring out American quartz. They really do it right. It's not no China glass situation. It's a really high-end experience, and those boys will take really good care of you. So yeah,
and they educate everybody that comes across the table. They let them know, like, you know, all of the different nuances of the rosin. I mean, just really great people.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a couple other things I want to mention. Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, another one of our sponsors. They sent out a huge box of seeds. I've also had a couple breeders send in seeds that we'll be putting on that table to give away. So show up bright and early and score some free seeds for your veggie garden. And there's going to be lots of cannabis seeds and all kinds of seeds on that seed swap table. We always bring a bunch of packs to give away. And I know we've got a bunch of awesome breeders that are going to be joining us for the day. So, oh man, it's going to be fun. I'm super pumped, Tracy. I can't wait.
And that's something I should also mention is that we always have vegetable and herb seeds on site that are for donation. So people can come in, and if you're looking for vegetables that you want to grow in your own yard, you're welcome to go through our seed box as well. And there's no donation involved in that. You can just help yourself to that. Our goal is to make sure that people can grow their own food, grow their own medicine, and just create autonomy.
That is so awesome, Tracy. You guys are serving the community in such a good way, and it's so much appreciated. And yeah, everybody needs to come on out. Yep, everything you guys want is going to be there and more. You're going to get to meet real farmers. You're going to get to meet real makers. And we got some awesome people bringing out clothing companies from the community. I know Motherlode's Most Wanted is going to be there, and Grower Gear is going to be there. And yeah, it's a stacked lineup. A bunch of our favorite farmers who never leave the hill and come to the Bay Area are coming to the Bay Area. So
That's awesome.
if you like regenerative cannabis, if you're worried about pesticides in your medicine, you know, we all saw this LA Times article that came out this week that said rec cannabis is just as scary as black market, any kind of cannabis. But it's more important than ever to know your farmer, know their practices, and get close to that farmer. So Saturday, 2:00 to 7:00, North Oakland. Where do people go to join the church, Tracy, and join that membership?
LotusChurch.com. If you go to lotuschurch.com, You'll also see the social media links at the top right corner. So you can follow us on Instagram for future events, and also the Facebook for people who still use Facebook. We do post on there as well.
Awesome. Well, we are so excited, Tracy. Yeah, so go join the church so you can drop by there anytime you want, everybody. And then to get tickets to this weekend's event, you can go to tinyurl.com/Regen Sesh. You can also just join the church and show up day of. So we're super excited to welcome everybody. We're in a great neighborhood in North Oakland. We've got security in the parking lot. Super safe, great community. A lot of the folks we meet there all live in that neighborhood, just walk to the church and have their local gathering place there. So we are honored to be joining you, Tracy. And once again, thank you for opening up that space for the Regenerative Farming Guild. And we are just so pumped to come party with you once a month.
Just make sure that when you come in person to join, that you bring a valid ID with you. It can be a passport, it can be any photo ID, just so I can make sure that you are who you say you are. And you can also pay in person as well.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tracy. Yeah, everybody come out to the church, meet Tracy, introduce yourselves, and come say hi. Introduce yourself to me if you see me this weekend as well. Any last thoughts or anything you want to share with the community before we say goodnight, Tracy?
Just bring positive energy. Leave all your negative drama outside the doors, because we don't want it here.
Yeah, that's right. This weekend's about community, sharing, hanging with your friends, learning some new skills, opening your mind a little bit, and it's going to be all smiles. So we're really looking forward to it. And thank you again, Tracy. We will see you on Saturday at the church.
Saturday. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. You have a good night. We'll see you then.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.